Hello, my name is Paula. This is my daughter Felicia. She is 9 years old and in the 3rd grade. For our assignment of designing a math lesson for use in the forest as a classroom, I have devised 2 activities, both of them using your body, or the student's body, as a measuring tool for distance and finding averages. The first activity I have called calibrating your stride. For this activity, you're going to need butcher paper, you're going to need a Sharpie, perhaps some tape and scissors. You're going to need a stake field marker, which can be found at pretty much any home improvement store or lumber mill. And the teacher will need a measuring tape. On my initial list, I put popsicle sticks as ways for the children to use because we're going to practice this, but I didn't pick any up, so I'm just going to use pencils today. So how can this activity be used in the classroom and for the kids' education basically from 3rd grade on? Well, historically measuring distances involved wagon wheels, it involved a step, a foot, but every foot is just a little bit different. So even back to Lewis and Clark mapping out the West, we have difference in measuring that are not as precise as the digital and satellite things that we use today. But I know that I still use my stride as a way of measuring things for my garden, putting where I'm going to organize my furniture and things like that. So this is a good lesson for these children to learn that you don't need high technology to make a measurement. All right, Felicia, you ready to get started?
Yes.
Okay, now over here on the ground, come on, Kenny. We have a chunk of butcher block paper. A stride is usually measured by taking the angle from your back foot, a mark on your back foot, and a mark on the forward foot near the toe. So what Felicia is going to do is she's going to show us a step. So put one foot on the paper, forward a little more. No, don't pull the paper up. Okay, 1 foot. Just step on. Step. Take a step. Okay, now take another step with your other foot, but don't move. All right? So we're going to mark right here on her back foot, and we're going to mark right here on her forward toe. That's our first measurement. To get an average stride for Felicia, we need to take 3 measurements. So take a step back off the paper, please. Go a little bit over there, put a foot on the paper, take a step, and your forward foot, just like a normal step. So we have what is going to be a different measurement for Felicia. And this is measurement 2. Go over here now, please. Put your foot on the paper and take a step. And this will be her measurement 3. From these 3 measurements, we can find an average length of Felicia's stride. And we can transfer that to the stake. All right, cut. Okay, so I paused the video for just a moment to make these lines in her stride so that you wouldn't have to put up with all that. And what we're going to do, with the educator's help, is we're going to use a measuring tape to measure her stride. Okay, Felicia, this one is about 15 and a half inches long. Could you write that down? All right, let's do this one. Felicia, this one is about 18 3/4 inches long. Okay, this one is about 17 and a half inches long. So we can convert these numbers to decimals. So So Felicia, let's do some math over here. All right, so we've divided our addition problems using our 3 strides, and we've come up with 17.25. Now, for the educator, this comes the fun part, and for the student, this is also the fun part. Can you please bring me the Sharpie, Felicia?
Sharpie time.
Now that we know her average, pick over to the table. Now that we know her average stride, she can use her average stride to get an average out in the field for a distance between trees in the forest. To mark this on the stake, the educator will take her measuring tool. Could you hold that there? Hold it nice and tight. And she will go to Felicia's average, which is what, Felicia?
17.5.
25
Uh-huh.
to 17.25 and mark it off. And then the educator can mark off the halves and the 0.25s all the way down the line. Essentially making a ruler. So this is 17. This is 17.25. Yeah, thank you, Kenny. Okay, so we pause the video again. We've made our ruler. This is Felicia's average stride. Now, at this point, the children can practice and should practice around the classroom working with their stride and measuring distances. To do so, they can use their markers. They can, for instance, if we were to measure the distance between our paper here and the corner of this wall, we would put this down, mark it at 17.25, move it, starting with the marker again, to 17.25, and move it again, and mark it to the end. So here, we're going to end up at 14.75. Now, the children will take those numbers and they will put them on their data sheet. And after they take 3 measurements, 4 measurements, or 5 measurements, they can get an average distance between trees in the forest, or things in the classroom, in the house, in the yard, or anywhere they desire. Now that Felicia knows that her average stride is 17.25 inches, she can use that measuring stick, take it home. She can use it to do all kinds of measurements. What kinds of things would you like to measure at home?
Where can you stand right now to the couch?
That's a good idea. They can measure their rooms. They can practice in the classroom. They can practice in the play yard before the actual field trip, where they will, as a class, demonstrate the average distance between trees in a forest. So that's part of the activity. There's more details associated with it, of course, but we are limited on time, and my 10-year-old son's not the best at taking videos, so I apologize for any shakiness. All right, thank you.